All right, so I'm going to head back to my mat now. Welcome to lunchtime, 45-minute nourishing yoga. All right, so as you guys know, I like to sit on a little cushion here, support my hips by allowing my knees to drop below my hips. And before we really get started, I wanted to mention that the vagus nerve, which a lot of you are probably familiar with it, but it's basically a super long nerve in our body. And by the way, it's not spelled like what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. It's VAGUS. And it basically starts in the brainstem, goes down through our neck, chest, and our abdomen. And it's really, really important for our parasympathetic nervous system, which is basically the rest and digest part of our nervous system. And so it carries motor and sensory information that basically impacts our heart, major blood supplies, airways, lungs, esophagus, stomach, intestines, and so on. And so a lot of you might be practicing yoga because you have heard that my yoga classes are really good for getting amazing abs and core strength and so on, which, woohoo. But quite honestly, even more profound than that is the way that it impacts so many other more, I guess, subtle systems in our body, things that might not show up in our bikini shot. But it really impacts like how we deal with stress, which is, as you guys can imagine, something that is really important today. It helps with our immune system, and if we're having trouble sleeping, if we're having allergic reactions of any kind. Anyway, so one thing that is really, even our mood, right? Anxiety, depression, and so on, and it really impacts our gut health, which people are now familiar to a great extent, that our gut is kind of like our second brain. And so the reason I mention this now is whenever we start with our yoga practice, I like to remind people that we try to breathe in and out through our nose. I also like to remind you that even though we're told throughout our lives, you know, like, oh, if you're really stressed out, just take a deep breath. And what I like to remind people is that actually, at least as important is take a deep out breath. And the thing is that when we're taking these breaths, we're not, most people think of, oh, we're getting the oxygen that we need, which is obviously very important, but it's just so much more profound than that. When we're exhaling, we're also letting go of the carbon dioxide, which people might not realize a lot of times if we're super tired or like yawning a lot, that's actually what our body needs to do. So when we do our twists, you know, those sorts of shapes, I like to, you probably notice that I say, pay attention to how are you exhaling, and that's why yoga, I think, is so important in so many more ways than the physical. The obvious stuff is it reminds us to pay attention to something that is actually the most important thing in life, which is our breath. And so I wanted to show you guys really quickly. You might have taken other yoga classes where they talk about the Ujjayi breath, which I'm not going to get all like weird and Sanskrit-y on you guys right now, but that's basically the breath where we're toning our vagus nerve, because what we're doing is you can feel a bit of vibration, and there are actually machines now that you can buy, medical machines that tone your vagus nerve and that help with all of those things that I just listed earlier. But we don't need to spend that kind of money or, you know, rely on the mail system right now. We can actually do it right now. And so the way that we do that is just take your hand and place it in front of your mouth. I won't do it because then you might not hear me. But so you're gonna place your hand in front of your mouth and just breathe out through your nose as if you were fogging up a mirror, as if your hand is like a mirror. So you're placing your hand right here in front of your, you know, where your face mask is. And so just inhale. And then exhale like you're trying to fog it up. It's almost like you're whispering with nobody hearing you. All right, do that again. Deep breath in and out. So if you felt a little bit of vibration in your throat, that is toning your vagus nerve. That is the Ujjayi breath. So as we move through our practice today, if you could think of doing that, especially on some of the shapes that might challenge you a little more, like maybe plank, or if we do fierce or chair pose, the things that you're like, oh my gosh, how much longer are we going to have to hold this for? Then that is an opportunity to say, oh, let me focus on my Ujjayi breath, that whisper, that fogging the mirror breath, because that's when, you know, when I take you through the practice and I remind you, let your breath be your guide, just like in off the mat, out in the world, when we're like, oh my gosh, I just realized I am hyperventilating, or I really need to take a deep breath. That's our way of saying, oh yeah, my breath is telling me that I'm stressed out right now, or that this is hard. So this is a way to practice doing that on our mat, and then we can take it out. And you know, when you look at your dog and your dog's like, and you're like, why are you doing that? Your life is so easy. When I die, I want to come back as you. But that is like a total relaxation, and that's what we get to do even when we're under stress or in stressful poses. So anyway, enough of that. So let's come into our easy pose, whatever that might be. Maybe our legs crossed or stretch out in front of us. And if it's comfortable for you, you can close your eyes or look down at a spot on the ground in front of you. Soften the forehead, cheekbones, jawbones. Soften our shoulders. And then bring our awareness into our breath. Again, breathing in and out through our nose. Of course, if you're congested, breathe through your mouth. And just notice your breath. Perhaps noticing the length of it, the length of the inhale, the length of the exhale, without trying to control it. Just notice how it happens, how it is. And then we'll take a deep breath in together, and then on the exhale, gently separate your lips and let out a little sigh. So let's inhale now. Again, inhale. And let's do that one more time. And if you'd like to, set an intention for your practice today to pay attention to your breath. Perhaps looking at it with awe and wonder, how it just happens, without our needing to control it or make plans for it. It just happens. And then let's gently shake our head, yes, I am here. And then gently shake it, no. Noticing how this feels in your neck. And let's come back. We're still sitting up nice and tall, nice long spine. We're going to do some shoulder circles, warming up, loosening up our shoulders, upper back. And then let's go the opposite direction. Okay, let's hold it here. We'll take a deep breath, reaching arms up. And then exhale over to the right. Nice long stretch on the left side of your torso. That feels good. Inhale your arms up. Exhale left. We always start off with the spine movement. Our spinal health is so important for overall health. Inhale your arms up. Exhale with a slight twist to the right. Notice that breathing that I mentioned earlier. Your exhale and your twist. Inhale your arms up. And then exhale left. Inhale your arms up. And then exhale your hands behind your back, clasping them together, pulling them up gently. And then if you want to, you can hinge forward from your hips. Still with a nice long spine. Let's come on up. Inhale your arms up. And then exhale as you press your palms forward, kind of round out your back now, feeling that motion in your back. Different type of lengthening the muscles. Come back up. So from here, we're going to come onto all fours into our tabletop. So our wrists are under our shoulders, knees are under our sit bones. And as we inhale, we'll look up and pull our tailbone up, lengthening our spine. Notice how that feels. And then as you exhale, come back the other way into cat pose. So curling your back, tucking your chin into your chest. Inhale up. Exhale down. So let's do a series of these, moving with your breath. And if you want to, you can practice that ujjayi breath, right? Like you're whispering, but nobody else can hear you. So you can feel it in the back of your throat as you exhale. Notice how it feels to inhale as you come up into cow pose. Opening up your chest and front body, filling your lungs. Let's do 2 more breath cycles. And staying here in tabletop. We're going to come into our spinal balance. So right arm comes up, left leg comes up. Your neck is neutral, you're looking down. And bring it back down, switch to the other side. Left arm up, right leg up. And down. So continue this again with your breath. Inhale up, exhale down. Still practicing that breath if you like. Right? You're not just toning your core now, you're toning your vagus nerve. I like to say what happens in Vegas, V-A-G-U-S. Doesn't stay there, it goes everywhere in your body and brain. We'll do 1 more on each side. Okay, from here, let's shift our hips over to the right. Look over your left arm. Feel that lengthening in your lower back, your glute. Let's go the other way. And back to the center. So we're going to come into our half flows. Shift your hands forward. So you're bringing your body into a high plank on your knees. Your knees are behind your hips here. Your power's in your shoulders, your upper back, chest, abs. You're breathing. We're always breathing. And now bend your elbows just to where your ribs come in line with your elbows. Don't go any lower than that. That's low plank. All the way down. Press the tops of your feet into the mat. Turn your quads outward. Feel engagement in your glutes. Lengthen your spine. Bring the crown of your head up towards the sky. Come into cobra. Breathe. And then push up and sit back on your heels, extending your arms forward into child's pose. Okay, we'll do 2 more cycles of that, moving with our breath. So let's inhale up into high plank on our knees. Exhale, low plank, all the way to the floor. Inhale your chest up, cobra. And then exhale up and back into child's pose. And 1 more, inhale up and forward. Exhale, low plank to the mat. Inhale, cobra. And exhale up and back into child's pose. And just pause here for a few breaths. Feeling extension in your back, shoulders, chest, your hips, your lower back. You can do a couple of rocking moves here if that feels good. One more breath here. And then slowly come on up through tabletop. Bring your toes to the mat. Raise your knees off the mat. Pause. And then bring your hips up to the sky into downward dog and pause here. So look down at your feet, see if they're still in line with your sit bones, so not too far apart or close together. And pressing into your fingers, into your knuckles, taking the pressure off your wrists. Bring your shoulder blades toward each other, drawing them away from your ears. And now let's walk our dog, bending one knee at a time. I know you always wanted to take your dog out at lunch for a walk. Here is your chance. For those of you doing this class live at noon, Eastern time, of course. All right, let's hold our dog still here. And then bend both knees so your shins are parallel with the floor. Pause here. Feel that power in your quads and your shoulders. Feel the lengthening in your toes, the arches of your feet, your Achilles. No more plantar fasciitis for us, right? All right, let's walk our feet forward, coming into forward fold. Keep your knees soft and pause here. Floppy arms, floppy head. Check in with your back. If this does not feel good on your back, bend your knees a bit more. This is all about supporting our back, not about touching our toes. Okay, press your feet into the mat, especially noticing the 4 points of each foot. Big toe mound, baby toe mound, each side of each heel. And then without moving your feet, press your heels away from each other. Energetic movement here, not actually moving them. And then notice how that feels,
powerful in your legs. You can feel your legs engaged. Keep that engagement. Bring your hands to your shins. Lengthen your spine into your half lift. Pause here. Breathe. Back down into forward fold. And now still pressing your heels away from each other. Reach out to the side, come up for a reverse swan dive. As you lengthen your spine, reach your arms up. Take a breath, slight back bend, opening up your heart to the world, to life, whatever it brings us. We can handle it. Come back up, inhale. Exhale your palms together, bring them past heart center and into forward fold. Inhale to your half lift, lengthening your spine, hands to shins. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step one foot back into a lunge, the other one comes to meet it in high plank. You can drop your knees here if you prefer. Shift forward over your hands a couple inches. Exhale into low plank, bending your elbows. Come all the way to the floor. Inhale your chest up into cobra. And then exhale through tabletop and into downward dog. Let's put that all together again, so we're going to bend both knees. Walk your feet forward into forward fold, pause. All right, so let's do a flow here, being very intentional about moving with our breath. So if you need to move faster or slower than me, that's fine. I'm not doing it right. I'm doing it what's right for me, so you do the same for you. So let's inhale to our half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up, reverse swan diving. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step one foot back, then the other into high plank. Shift forward, exhale, low plank to the floor. Inhale your chest up into cobra. And then exhale through tabletop and into downward dog. Inhale our right leg up into downward dog split, reaching it up to the sky. And then bring it forward, placing your right foot between your hands in the lunge. Okay, so your back foot, you're going to replace the pad of the foot with your heel. And now reach your arms forward and come up into warrior one. Okay, so you have your victory arms. You cross the finish line because you made it to your mat. You're winning it. To reach up and stretch back. Feel a slight back bend here. Come back up. We're going to come into a balance pose here. So the 4 points of our front foot, bring your attention to them. And then reaching over our front leg, we're going to bring our hands down and raise our back foot. So our left leg, see if we can bring it somewhat, parallel to the ground or whatever we need to do. Fingertips are either grazing the mat or hovering slightly above it. You can always use a yoga block here for added. I'm going to use my water bottle to show you. Right, bring the floor to me. You can use a book, a chair, whatever you need to use. Breathe. Okay, let's bring our foot back up, down into warrior one. Couple breaths here. Let's bring our hands behind our back now. And then as we hinge forward about halfway, we'll straighten out our front leg without locking the knee. And pause here. Breathe. Notice how this feels in your right hamstring, your lower back, chest, shoulders. And then bend your front leg, bring your hands back down to the mat, pivot your back foot so you're in a lunge. And then step your front foot back into high plank. Remember, you can always place your knees on the mat here. We're going to shift forward if you want to, low plank, back up, and into downward dog. Let's take our left leg up now. Downward dog split, reaching through the hip. Feeling that power in our glute, our lower back, shoulders. Breathe. And now let's bring that foot forward, place it between our hands in our lunge. And then pivot your back foot, replacing the ball of your foot with your heel. And then once again, nice and long spine as you reach forward and up, warrior one. Pressing your feet into the mat. Hips are facing toward the front of your mat, the short end. And then reach up and back. Back up, warrior one. And digging those roots down with your left foot, the 4 points of your left foot. And then reaching over your left leg, you bring your right leg up. You can use a water bottle or a yoga block or book, chair, dog, young child, whatever you've got going for you there. Breathe into it. And then come back into warrior one. Clasp your hands behind your back. And then as you hinge forward, straightening without locking your left leg, just come about halfway down, noticing how this feels. Hamstring, back, chest, shoulders, and most importantly, are you breathing? And then bend your front knee, bring your hands down, step your left foot back into high plank, or bring it to your knees. Shift forward, low plank, high plank, and downward dog. Couple breaths here. Let's take our right leg up now. And bring it forward into a lunge. Again, placing it between our hands. Okay, so bring our body up, arms up, or you can place your hands on your hips. So if your arms are up, release your shoulders, bring them away from your ears. Breathe. Notice what's going on here in your left hip, left quad. So you feel that extension there. If you like to, you can bring your palms together and twist over your front leg, bring your left elbow by your right knee. You can stay there, you can open your arms. And notice how you're breathing here. Let's bring our hands down, step our foot back. And now we're going to come into either modified or full side plank to the left. Okay, so you're taking your left arm up, stacking your legs. If you want to, you can drop your right knee to the mat and come into modified side plank. Do what's right for your body. Just breathe into it. Feel that power. You can always bring it onto your forearm too if this doesn't feel good on your wrists and shoulders. Okay, let's bring our arms down back into high plank. Shift forward, down, up, and into downward dog. Let's take our left leg up now into downward dog split. And then bring it forward, placing it between our hands in our lunge. And then bring our body up into high lunge, crescent warrior. Breathe. Exhale, shoulders down, if your arms are up. Notice the sensation in your right hip, quad. Keep breathing. And then if you'd like to, adding that twist now over our left leg. Pause there, notice your exhale. If you'd like to, opening your arms. If you need extra balance support, remember yoga block, water bottle, books, chair, small furry creature or human, whatever works for you. And now let's reach down, step that foot back into high plank. And now we're going to come into side or modified side plank to the right. So reach your right arm up, stack your legs. If you did it the other way, that's fine. Just make sure you get both sides. Right? We don't want to be lopsided. Breathe. Are you doing your Ujjayi breath now? Okay, let's reach down now into high plank. Drop your knees if you want to. Shift forward, down, up, and into downward dog. Okay, let's bend both knees. Walk your feet forward into forward fold. Okay. We'll do a full flow here, sun salutation. So remember, follow your breath. Inhale to your half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step back into high plank and drop your knees if you want to. Shift forward, low plank. Don't take it to the mat. Come onto the tops of your feet. Inhale for upward dog. And exhale, flip your feet back into downward dog. Breathe. And take your right leg up. And bring it forward, bending it in front of you. So we're coming into pigeon. Back leg is extended out. Our balance is centered. And just pause here for a moment. And then if you'd like to, come forward. Slowly folding forward. And notice how this feels anywhere where you feel sensation. Perhaps in your glutes, back, hamstrings, hip area. Just breathe into it. Pay attention. Okay, come on up. Bring that leg back. So through tabletop, curl your toes under, downward dog. Let's take our left leg up. And now bring that through, folding it in front of us. Our right leg is extended behind us, so our balance is centered. Pause, breathe. And then on your next exhale, fold forward. And then slowly come on up. Let's bring our back leg around. So placing our feet flat on the mat in front. Reach forward. Remember, it's had a nice long spine here, so try not to round it out, right? Open up. Back just to where you feel your abs activating. One more time. Breathe. Practice your Ujjayi breath now if you want. Notice if you are breathing that way as we're in a somewhat strenuous shape here. How does breathing that way affect it? Does it affect it? Does it affect our ability to tolerate it, at least mentally? Breathe. Okay, one more inhale. And then as you exhale, come onto your back and bring your knees into your chest and give yourselves a hug because you are freaking amazing. And if you don't believe it, I do. And that's all that matters. You can do some circles with your hips if you want. And rock around. Let's bring our feet flat on the mat. And we're going to do one more power move because this is a power lunchtime. Those of you who are not, this is not your lunchtime, sorry, I keep saying that. All right, let's bring our hips up into bridge pose. Okay, so we're pressing our feet into the ground as we press our hips upward. Maybe even bring our shoulder blades closer together. Pause here and breathe. And release. Bring your right foot onto your left thigh. Bring your knees into your chest. If you'd like to, roll onto your left elbow. Bring your knees in a little more. Notice how this feels. Breathe. And then let's come back to center. Switch legs. Bring your knees in. Roll onto your right elbow. Bring your knees in a little bit more. How does this feel in your left glute, hamstring, and your back? And come back to center. Bring your knees to the floor, your feet to the floor. The soles of your feet together. Now release your knees to the floor. Pause here for a moment. Take a few breaths. Take a lying down butterfly. Let's extend our legs out, straightening them out. Let's take a breath as you reach arms up toward the sky and then over our heads. Taking a few breaths here as we feel the full lengthening throughout our body. And then on your next inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. And as you exhale, gently lowering them at your sides. Close your eyes if that's comfortable. Take a couple minutes, Shavasana. If this is indeed noon, this is a perfect time to do this. Hit the reset button, the reboot. Softening your forehead, cheekbones, your jawbones. Feeling the whole back body from the top of your head all the way down to your heels. Feeling all of that just melt into the ground.
Notice any sensations in your body. Any tingling, pulsing, as well as relaxation. And then bring your awareness to your breath. Notice how it just happens. Notice how your body knows when to breathe in, and your body knows to expand with the breath. In your chest, perhaps even into your belly, as your diaphragm fills. Notice how your body knows when to let it go. Let go of what it doesn't need. And your body knows to move back down. Over and over. The best thing about your life is that it is constantly in a state of design. This means you have, at all times, the power to redesign it. Make moves, allow shifts, smile more, do less. Say no, say yes. Just remember, when it comes to your life, you are not only the artist, but the masterpiece as well. Cleo Wade in Heart Talk. So slowly coming back into a more wakeful state. As you're ready, still with your eyes closed or gazing downward, make your way back up into your easy pose, whatever that looks like for you. See if you can sit tall though, lengthening your spine, relaxing your forehead, relaxing your shoulders. Let's bring our palms together at heart center and take a moment to feel intense gratitude for our body, for showing up for us today, carrying us through this day, through our life, onto our mat, through the movements and the stillness, thanking our body for its strength, power, patience, wisdom, resilience, and its beauty inside and out. And then perhaps taking that intention that we set for our practice today, bringing it off the mat with us through our day, to just pay attention to our breath and looking at each breath as an opportunity to redesign, from what Cleo Wade said in the reading I just shared with you. This masterpiece that is our life, that we are living in, and we're in constant co-creation with. Perhaps paying attention to our breath is the most profound thing we can do. So just consider that. Now let's all take a deep breath. And then as we exhale, bowing forward, namaste, peace. Thanks everyone. I'm gonna come over and take off my mic, hang on.